There are times when the world weighs heavy upon your chest, and you wonder if anyone truly sees you. Do they notice how your energy shifts with the slightest change in the room, how every whisper and every glance seems to pierce your soul? You have this uncanny gift, this strange curse that makes you feel everything. You absorb what others hide, what they dare not speak aloud. You taste their pain and wear their grief like a second skin. And, for a moment, it almost feels like you're living their lives, carrying their burdens as your own. The weight is suffocating, isn't it? But have you ever wondered if this gift, this seemingly boundless ability to heal and to understand, might be the very thing that's slowly draining your life force? There is power in empathy, yes. It flows through you like a river of infinite compassion. But there's something darker lurking beneath the surface. Something that, if left unchecked, can consume you entirely. You might not have realized it yet, but the very thing that connects you to the world, this sensitivity, this gift, has a shadow. It pulls you into the depths of others' wounds until you forget where they end and you begin. You have likely felt it. The feeling that something is slipping away, that the more you give, the more you lose. The paradox is almost unbearable. What you once saw as your strength might be slowly eroding your essence. The truth, as uncomfortable as it is this. Empathy is both your greatest power and your most dangerous weakness. But you already know this, don't you? Deep down, you felt it creeping in. The question is, can you bear to confront it? Do you know the archetypes that live within you, hidden beneath the surface? There are forces at work, ancient and primal, shaping your experience, guiding you through life's labyrinth without your conscious awareness. The archetype of the empath, the healer, the one who feels everything. These roles are not just yours. They are ancient patterns, etched into the very fabric of your being, deeply entwined with the light and the shadow of humanity itself. They stretch back to times long forgotten, where the light of the soul was still raw and untamed. You, as an empath, walk a path that mirrors the dance between the light and the dark. The light of your soul, bright with compassion and boundless love, is the gift you offer to the world. You see the unspoken, understand the unsaid. You heal, you soothe, you comfort. Yet you must understand that light always has its shadow, and the shadow is not a foreign invader. It is the very same force that moves within you, silent and patient, waiting to be recognized. It is that part of you which is drawn into the wounds of others, into their pain, their sorrow, their suffering. It is that deep, unconscious urge to save, to make it all better, even if it costs you your soul. The empath and the narcissist are often entwined in a hidden tango, an unconscious attraction that pulls them together. The narcissist, with their hunger for attention and validation, feeds off the energy that the empath so freely offers. And the empath, in turn, is drawn to the narcissist's wounded ego, seeking to heal what cannot be healed. The narcissist's empty vessel requires constant refilling, while the empath's well of energy is drained until nothing is left. And yet, there is something almost sacred about this dynamic. It is a manifestation of the eternal battle between light and dark, between the healer and the wounded. In this battle, you, the empath, are both the savior and the sacrificial lamb. But understand this, your gift is not meant to be a curse. It is a call to self-awareness, a summons to embrace the full range of your being. To walk in the light is to be aware of the shadow that trails behind. As Jung once said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And so, your path, your painful, beautiful path, is to confront the darkness within you, not to reject it, but to integrate it. The light and the shadow are not opposing forces, but complementary ones. The empath without the awareness of the shadow is lost, just as the narcissist without the understanding of their wounds is doomed to wander aimlessly in the dark. You must come to terms with the reality that your inner wound, the one that makes you feel so deeply, is not just a source of empathy, it is also a well of vulnerability. It is a mirror that reflects not only the pain of others, but your own unhealed parts. It is a reflection of the deep yearning for connection, for validation, for love, that you have long carried within you. This is why you are so attuned to the emotions of others. They echo what you have longed for, what you have yet to give yourself. In your desire to heal others, you may be unknowingly seeking to heal yourself. The healer's wound is always the deepest. And so, in the quiet moments of your life, when you feel the weight of the world pressing down upon you, ask yourself, where does this yearning come from? Where does this need to heal others, to carry their burdens, stem from? Is it not a reflection of your own need for healing? And if so, how do you turn this gift, this curse, into something that empowers rather than drains? You see, to step into your full power as an empath requires more than just the ability to heal others. It requires the strength to face your own darkness, your own wounds, and to claim your wholeness. The journey of the empath is not one of endless sacrifice. It is a journey of integration, of learning to hold both the light and the shadow with grace. And paradoxically, it is only by facing your own wounds, by acknowledging the darkness within, that you will truly understand the depths of your compassion. This is the deeper truth that lies beneath the surface of your sensitivity. You are not just an observer of the world's pain. You are an active participant in it. Your own wounds and unhealed parts are drawn into the wounds of others because they speak to something within you, something unfinished, something that is waiting to be seen, recognized, and healed. You must stop fleeing from this darkness, for it is within it that you will find the very source of your strength. Do not fear the wound, for it is the portal to your wholeness. Do not fear the shadow, for it holds the key to your deepest transformation. It is not through the endless act of giving, of rescuing others, that you will find peace. It is through the quiet acceptance of your own inner darkness and the strength to step into the fullness of your own being that you will finally begin to heal, not just others, but yourself. You are both the healer and the healed, the light and the shadow. And the true power of your empathy lies in embracing both. It is not an accident that you feel pulled between extremes, as though life itself tugs you from one side to the other. You may often feel that your inner world is divided, a battleground between conflicting desires, emotions, and even identities. One moment you are filled with the urge to give, to heal, to be the compassionate savior of others. The next, you feel the heavy weight of depletion, the almost suffocating need to withdraw, to protect yourself from the very force you once gave so freely. Do you know this dance? This oscillation between light and shadow? It is a dance as old as time itself. It is the sacred ritual of the opposites, the very ritual that has shaped the course of humanity. The empath is drawn to the wounded, to the broken places in others. You feel their pain in your bones, in your very flesh, as if it were your own. And yet, what is this strange pull? What is this magnetic force that draws you in, only to leave you fragmented, depleted, and lost? It is the archetypal collision between the healer and the wounded, the divine savior and the suffering human. You are both, you see. You are both the one who feels the depths of others' pain and the one who seeks to transcend it. But the ritual is not one-sided. It is not merely about giving, about saving. No, the ritual of polarities is about the ongoing clash between forces that seek to balance each other. The healer who gives endlessly is inevitably confronted with the healer who needs to be healed. And here lies the paradox. The act of healing others becomes the means through which you are healed. Yet, the more you give, the more you must learn to receive. You must ask yourself, how can you dance in this ritual without losing yourself? How can you step into the flow of giving and receiving, of healing and being healed, without collapsing into self-sacrifice? The ritual drama unfolds not just within you, but around you. The empath is drawn into a world where polarities rule, where you find yourself playing the role of the savior, the healer, the protector, but also the victim of your own boundless giving. Life, in its raw and unsparing form, brings you into situations where the magnetism of the opposites is felt sharply. Perhaps it is in your relationships, where one person needs your care, your understanding, your energy. Perhaps it is in your work, where you are asked to nurture, to guide, to carry the weight of others' emotional burdens. And each time you are faced with a choice. Will you step into the role of the savior once again? Or will you step back and acknowledge that there is power in restraint, in stepping away, in allowing the ritual to unfold without your constant intervention? The opposites in life, these forces of light and shadow, are not mere ideas, but living energies that pulse through the fabric of your existence. They are the patterns that repeat across generations, across centuries. Look closely at the stories of ancient myth, the sacred texts, and the great rituals of humanity. They all speak of this conflict, this dance, this eternal play between the healer and the wounded, between the savior and the one in need of salvation. And it is through embracing both sides of the ritual, the savior and the wounded, the healer and the healed, that you will find the balance, the peace, and the power that you seek. Have you ever looked into the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? The face is familiar, but there is something beneath the surface, a deeper weariness, a shadow that lingers in the eyes. It is as though you have become someone else. You have become so consumed by your role, by the energy you pour into others, that you have lost touch with who you are beneath it all. The healer becomes the saved, the giver becomes the empty vessel, and you are left wondering, who am I really, if I am not this? This is the danger that lies in over-identifying with your role as the empath, as the one who heals, as the one who gives. You may feel the pull to be everything to everyone, to fill the cracks in others' lives with your own boundless energy. But what happens when the giving becomes a mask, an identity you wear so tightly that you forget who you are underneath? The truth is, when you over-identify with the role of the empath, you erase yourself. You become so absorbed in the suffering of others, so wrapped in their wounds, that you forget to look inward. You forget to ask, what do I need? What do I want? Who am I beyond this role? The process is subtle, almost imperceptible. At first, it feels good to be needed, to be the one others turn to when they are broken. It feels powerful to know that you can mend, that your presence can soothe the wounds of the world. But as time passes, the lines blur. You begin to mistake your own worth for your ability to serve. The roles you play, savior, caretaker, listener, become more than just actions. They become your very identity. And in that moment, you lose touch with the essence of who you truly are. This is the quiet danger of over-identifying with the light, with the role of the empath. The light, as Jung so wisely observed, is not free of its shadow. You may see yourself as a beacon of love and compassion, but beneath that light, there is a part of you that longs for something more. You cannot continue to pour from an empty cup, and yet many empaths continue to do so, believing that their worth is tied to the amount of energy they give away. They become martyrs to their own compassion, sacrificing their own needs, their own desires for the sake of others. The light burns brightly, but it also consumes. Have you ever felt that quiet voice within, whispering that something is wrong, that something needs to shift? It might come in the form of a restless night, a moment of exhaustion that drags on too long, or perhaps a feeling of resentment hidden just beneath the surface. These are the subtle signs, the gentle warnings, that you have overstepped the boundaries of your true self. And yet, how easy it is to ignore these signals, to push them aside in the name of duty, of service, of being the one who heals. But by ignoring these signs, you are only deepening the wound. You are only strengthening the illusion that your value is tied to what you can do for others. This over-identification is not just a personal issue, it is a cultural one too. You live in a world that demands sacrifice, that celebrates the martyr. The empathic soul is prized for their ability to give, to serve, to put others first. But what if the most radical act of love you could offer the world is not to give more, but to step back, to reclaim your own identity, to put yourself first? It is not selfishness that calls you, but sovereignty. To be truly empowered as an empath is not to become a vessel for others' emotions, but to recognize your own limits, to know when to step back and say no. And when you say no, you are not abandoning others. You are claiming your own power. You are telling the world that your energy is sacred, that you are not to be drained, that your love cannot be given freely without self-awareness. The dark side of over-identification with the light is that it leaves no room for the shadow. The shadow is the part of you that longs for rest, for peace, for solitude. The shadow is the part of you that needs to be loved, cared for, nurtured, not just by others, but by yourself. The more you push the shadow away, the more it will claw at your soul, pulling you into the depths of burnout, resentment, and disillusionment. And yet, the shadow is not your enemy. It is your guide, calling you back to wholeness. When you allow yourself to rest, to reclaim your energy, you do not abandon your role as the empath. You simply restore your strength so that you can give from a place of balance, from a place of power. Jung understood this, perhaps more clearly than anyone else. The light and the shadow must be embraced in equal measure. The empath who identifies only with the light will burn out, will eventually become nothing more than a hollow shell of their true self. The empath who refuses to acknowledge their shadow will be consumed by it. The key is not to choose one side or the other, but to hold them both with grace. To step into your light without forsaking your shadow. To heal others without losing yourself in the process. Can you feel the tug between these forces? Can you sense the pull of your own shadow, quietly whispering that you need to take a step back, that you need to honor your own limits? It is not weakness to set boundaries. It is strength. It is not self-centeredness to say, I need rest, I need peace, I need to reclaim my energy. It is, in fact, the most profound act of self-love and self-preservation. Only by honoring yourself will you truly be able to offer the healing that others so desperately need. There is a moment in every journey when the road shifts, when the horizon beckons, and the familiar path begins to unravel beneath your feet. It is the moment when the soul is called to something deeper, something greater than the roles it has been playing. Perhaps you felt it in your own life, that quiet stirring beneath the surface, a whisper from the depths of your being urging you to step into something new, something unknown. The time has come to enter the doorway to transformation, to awaken the dormant power that has always resided within you, yet remains untapped. But before you can step through this door, you must first understand something fundamental. Transformation does not come through sacrifice, through endless giving or self-erasure. It comes through self-awareness. It comes through the quiet recognition that you are more than the roles you play, more than the mask of the healer, the empath, the caretaker. To transform is to shed these masks, not to abandon them, but to integrate them, to allow them to serve you rather than define you. It is through this integration that true power emerges. Transformation is not an act of destruction, but of creation. The door you stand before is not a trap, nor is it a place of suffering. It is a place of remembrance. You have forgotten, perhaps, what it means to stand in your full power. You have forgotten that your essence is not defined by what you give away, but by what you hold sacred within. The gift you offer the world, the compassion you extend to others, comes from a wellspring that is endless. Yes, but only if you protect it, only if you allow it to remain full. To transform, then, is to stop depleting yourself and to begin refilling your own well. Consider this. You have spent much of your life giving, serving, loving, but never truly allowing yourself to receive. And in that, you have created an imbalance. You have fed the world with your energy, but in doing so, you have starved yourself. The time has come to stop. The time has come to look inward, to ask, what do I need? What do I truly want? These questions are not selfish. They are the doorway to your transformation. They are the keys that unlock the power that resides within you. For how can you continue to give what you do not possess? How can you heal others when your own wounds remain untended? The doorway to transformation lies in the recognition that you, too, must be healed. The path to reclaiming your energy, your sovereignty, lies not in offering endless care to others, but in recognizing the sacredness of your own being. This is not a call to abandon your compassion or your empathy. It is a call to remember the importance of boundaries, of self-care, of knowing when to say no. To say no is not to deny others. It is to honor yourself. It is a recognition that you are worthy of care, that you too deserve to be nurtured, to be loved, to be restored. You stand at the threshold now. The door is before you, and beyond it lies the vast unknown. There is fear, of course. Fear of what lies on the other side. Fear that you will lose the parts of yourself that you've identified with for so long. Fear that if you stop giving, if you turn inward, you will become selfish, cold, distant. But know this, true transformation comes not from abandoning who you are, but from remembering who you have always been. The part of you that yearns to heal others is not wrong, it is not flawed, but it must be balanced by the part of you that understands the importance of self-preservation. What would it be like then if you allowed yourself to step through this doorway, to embrace the fullness of your being without guilt, without shame? What if you could move through the world as both the healer and the one who is healed, both the empath and the sovereign being? This is the paradox of transformation. It is not about becoming something you are not. It is about reclaiming all that you are. The parts of you that have been buried, the parts that have been overshadowed by the demands of others, can now rise to the surface, whole and integrated. To enter the doorway is to step into your true power. It is to acknowledge your own wounds, your own needs, your own humanity. It is to let go of the illusion that you must always be the one who gives, the one who sacrifices. In doing so, you release the grip of codependency and enter a new way of being. One where you can both give and receive, where your energy flows freely and healthily without fear of depletion. The doorway to transformation is not just a physical passage, it is an internal shift, a shift in consciousness. It is the moment when you realize that you are not separate from the world you seek to heal. You are not merely an instrument of others' emotions, but a co-creator of your own reality. The world is as much a reflection of you as you are a reflection of it. And in this recognition, you will find the strength to step forward into the next chapter of your life, one where you are not defined by your ability to heal, but by your ability to honor yourself, to respect your boundaries, and to live in alignment with your true power. You may feel the pull of fear, the pull of the past, urging you to stay in the familiar. But understand this: to transform is to step beyond what you know, into the vast unknown, into the fullness of your being. And as you step through that doorway, you will find that the power you seek has always been within you. It was never outside. It was simply waiting for you to remember it. There is a space within you, a silent, sacred space, where the stillness is profound. In this space, there are no roles, no identities, no expectations. There is only the essence of who you are, whole, complete, unshaken by the shifting currents of the world. This is the space you are being called to reclaim, the space where your true power resides. You have spent so long giving, so long bending yourself in service to others, that you may have forgotten what it means to stand firm, to assert your presence without apology. But now, the time has come to remember. In this moment, you must ask yourself, what would it mean to step into my full power? What would it feel like to move through the world not as the one who always heals, always gives, but as one who is fully anchored in their own energy? This is not a call to abandon your compassion, your empathy, but to bring them into balance with your inner strength. It is not a call to close yourself off, to become cold or distant. It is a call to claim your sovereignty, to remember that your energy is sacred, and that you alone have the right to determine how it is given. You stand at the threshold, a new horizon before you, and yet, even now, you may feel the pull of the past, the pull of the roles you have played, the identities you have worn so long, the empath, the healer, the caretaker. These roles have shaped you, yes, but they do not define you. They are parts of you, but they are not all of you. There is more to you than what you have offered the world. There is power in stepping back, in saying no, in refusing to be defined by your service. When you step into your full power, you do not cease to be compassionate. You do not stop caring for others, but you begin to do so from a place of wholeness, not from a place of depletion. What would it look like if you could move through the world with clear, unshakable boundaries, knowing that your worth is not tied to your ability to heal others? What would it feel like to give and receive freely, without fear, without guilt? You may feel a deep resistance to this idea. After all, for so long you have believed that your worth lies in your ability to serve. But this belief is a lie. Your worth is not measured by how much you give, but by how much you honor yourself, how much you protect your energy, how much you respect your own needs. The true power of the empath lies not in their ability to endlessly pour themselves into others, but in their ability to hold themselves whole, to stay anchored in their own being while navigating the world around them. To say no is not an act of selfishness, but an act of sovereignty. It is a recognition that your energy is a sacred resource and that it must be guarded, cherished, and protected. It is only by setting these boundaries that you will be able to give freely without fear of depletion, without fear of losing yourself. You may feel a deep resistance to this idea. After all, the world has told you that to give is to be virtuous, that to serve is to be noble. But understand this: to give without self-awareness, without boundaries, is not virtuous. It is a form of self-sacrifice. And self-sacrifice, when taken to its extreme, is not love. It is martyrdom. Love, true love, begins with self-respect. True love begins with honoring yourself, your needs, and your boundaries. Only then can you truly give from a place of abundance, from a place of power. The journey you have been on, the journey of healing and giving, has been important. But now, it is time to shift. It is time to move into the next phase of your life. The phase where you stand fully in your power, where you give and receive freely, where you honor your own energy as sacred. It is time to step into your sovereignty, to stop seeking validation in your ability to serve others, and to begin seeking validation in your ability to be yourself. You are not a vessel for others' pain. You are not a healer because of your ability to absorb the wounds of the world. You are a healer because you have the strength to stand firm in your own being, to face the darkness within, and to move through the world from a place of deep, unshakable power. Your true power does not come from giving endlessly. It comes from knowing when to step back, when to replenish your own energy, when to say no and honor your own needs. As you step into this new phase of your journey, know that the power you seek is already within you. It always has been. It was never in the role of the healer, never in the act of self-sacrifice. It was always in your ability to stand firm, to hold your ground, to say no, and to honor yourself. When you do this, you will find that the world around you begins to shift. You will no longer be defined by your ability to heal, to give, to serve. You will be defined by your sovereignty, by your ability to honor yourself and your energy, by your ability to move through the world with clarity, power, and presence. The time has come for you to step fully into your power. The time has come for you to stop giving in a way that drains you, to stop giving from an empty cup. The time has come for you to remember who you truly are, whole, complete, and infinitely powerful. When you step into this knowing, when you claim your sovereignty, you will find that your capacity to heal, to love, and to give expands beyond measure. And in that expansion, you will find your true power, your true self. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the strength rising within you. You are whole, you are powerful, and you are enough.